Hello and welcome to today's topic of the Engine English program. Today I will be talking about the words much, many and a lot of, and these words are used for describing amount and quantity in English. And there are some nuances about the way these words are used which can be useful for you to help you to sound more fluent in your English speaking. For English speakers, items in the world can be divided into two categories. We have countable items and uncountable items. First of all, let's look at some uncountable items. Liquids are uncountable. Water, wine, beer, milk, blood, any kind of liquid is usually uncountable. Also, pastes and gels, anything which is thick and sticky like this, like toothpaste, mud, syrup, anything like that. Non-shaped solids, these are things that do not have a natural shape. They have a lot of different shapes. So we have things like bread, chocolate, those soap, something like that. These things are made in different shapes. And abstract concepts. Some abstract concepts are uncountable, things like love or information, and also strangely money is uncountable. If we talk about the actual currency, like dollars or pounds, usually it's countable, $10, £15, but the concept of money itself is uncountable. Also appearing on this uncountable list are things called aggregates. This is when we have lots of small items which are very similar gathered together. This is things like sand, sugar, salt, and so on. So these are the uncountable items in English. Then we have the countable items. These are things which are individual, which are standalone, which we can count and tell how many there are. So people, dogs, these are living things. Chairs and books, these are things which are made by humans and they're individuals. Trees and mountains, these are things which exist in nature. So you can see there's a wide variety of things which are countable. Now, students often learn that you should use much with uncountable items and many with countable items. This is only partially true. Spoken English, the daily language that we use when talking to each other in casual situations, often has different expressions. In daily casual speaking, English speakers often follow this pattern for using much and many. Questions. When we ask a question, we divide between countable and uncountable. How much or how many, depending on countable or uncountable items. Questions. The second category for using much and many is negatives. Not much and not many. Another category is positive sentences which use to or so or as. These are positive sentences with these expressions in them. Now, apart from these types of sentences, questions, negatives, sentences with to, so, and as, for the other kinds of sentences, basic positive sentences, English speakers often use a lot of. Here is an example. How much money did you spend? There's a question using the word much. I didn't spend much money. There's a negative statement, not much. I spent too much money. A positive sentence using the expression too much. I spent so much money. I spent so much money that I had nothing left, using the word so often combines with much. I spent as much money as you. Sentence with as, a positive sentence with as. I spent a lot of money. Notice here, this sentence is the basic positive sentence in English. It's not a question. It's not a negative. It does not use to or so or as. So English speakers very often use the expression a lot of in this case. The same pattern applies for countable items. How many books did you buy? There's a question using how many. This is countable. I didn't buy many books. There's a negative, not many. I bought too many books using the word too. I bought so many books. I bought as many as I could. Positive sentence using as. Now, apart from these examples, I bought a lot of books. This is the basic positive sentence. It's not a question. It's not a negative. It does not use to. It does not use so, and it does not use as. The basic positive sentence uses a lot of. A lot of can be used with both countable and uncountable items. This is helpful for students because if you use a lot of, you never make a mistake with countable or uncountable. For example, I drank a lot of wine, I read a lot of books, I talked to a lot of people, and I had a lot of fun. Okay, you can see there is a mixture of countable and uncountable items. Wine and fun are uncountable, books and people are countable, but it is possible to use a lot of in all cases. There are other expressions that have the same meaning. These are used in very casual speaking. For example, lots of has exactly the same meaning as a lot of. Lots of, loads of, tons of, heaps of, a huge amount of. These are some other expressions which basically have the same meaning as a lot of. And these are used for more casual conversation. Let's move now to the expression, the words near and far. The words near and far are opposites, but English speakers often use far in the same way as much and many. For example, in questions, we ask, how far is it? For negatives, it's not far, let's walk. Sentences with to or so or as, for example, it's too far, let's take a taxi. So you can notice here the same pattern with much and many. Questions, negatives, sentences with to, so, and as. For the basic positive sentence, we would not use the word far in daily conversation. We would probably say a long way. So my house is a long way from the station. My house is far from the station. It's not wrong, but it's not natural for English speakers in daily conversation. So the use of much and many and far is varied. In more formal speaking, you can sometimes use these words in basic positive sentences. Okay. I saw many people at the concert. Yes, it's okay. I saw a lot of people at the concert might be better. So it is possible to use these words. It's not a strict grammar rule, but in daily conversation, a lot of and a long way are very common for these basic positive sentences. Thank you for watching.